Hey, I'm Des.
Hey y'all, I'm Sai.
And we're the co-hosts of Let's Talk Sis podcast, where we truly believe that together empowered women can transform their lives.
Join us for heartfelt stories, enlightening conversations, and a whole lot of accountability along the way. Don't allow pride to consume you, because I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in life, like our day-to-day situation or just circumstances that hinder us, right? And in that moment, I was literally shown how I was allowing pride to become an idol, right? And it hit me so hard. Like, I was stuck the day after we had the conversation, because before I even called you, I was on the phone with my therapist. And when I was talking to my therapist, she was basically helping me like regulate my emotions prior to having a meeting with them, where I was going to tell them that I wasn't interested, right? And when I say I was so sure and so certain, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to say. These are my bullet points and everything. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, wow, God really had to show me that I was creating, like allowing myself to be my own idol in that situation. Yeah. And women do that, like people do that a lot, but women do that a lot because we're so emotional. And it had me reflecting on so many other situations that I could have missed out on something that I worked for so long on, just simply because in that moment my emotions triggered pride, and then pride allowed me to make myself an idol.
This makes me think about an episode that we had before about self-sabotage and about how you allow your pride or ego to self-sabotage. And it's just like, I feel like most times when we are acting with so much pride or ego that you don't even know about, is unknown. So we claim to be so self-aware, and you don't even know that every single thing you're doing is with so much pride.
Yeah, I feel like most people are not self-aware. What did I say?
I was about to say, it's like you trick yourself out your spot.
100%.
Without even acknowledging it or noticing
100%.
it.
I would say most people aren't self-aware to say the least. I don't even know why people say they're self-aware. Self-aware requires you to be naked with yourself. I'm not talking about literally. I'm talking about like metaphorically, and just like you have to literally be able to look at yourself in a mirror naked. And like, you got to be, most people won't even write their thoughts down truthfully.
Yeah.
Because they scared somebody else might see it. Like, then you journaling. Come on, I've journaled. I don't know. When you first start journaling, you're like, what I say? Because you scared to even say what you really think.
There has definitely been times.
I started like that. I got out of that though.
When I first started journaling, I don't know why I always used to just be thinking like,
somebody gonna see it.
Else read this.
Exactly.
Actually, I'm gonna scratch that out.
And that's the part of us that don't want to really fully indulge in the things, like, cause it's like, if I say like, okay, have y'all ever been the reason that a relationship ended? And I'm not talking about just from cheating. I'm talking about just from, like, for whatever reason outside of infidelity. Like, have you ever dropped the ball on a guy where it's like,
we talked about that on another episode. Absolutely.
How long did it take for y'all to arrive at that?
To realize that we were the reason?
Yeah.
I want to say for me, probably like 2 years.
How long did it take you? And I respect that. Let me just say that on the record. I respect that.
So truthfully speaking, I don't think I've ever messed up a relationship.
Well, the main character. But the thing is though, can you identify things in the area that you could improve?
Yes, 1,000%.
Because I feel like that's the thing, and I feel like, man.
I feel like just simply
so
as
much
a woman,
I can say.
especially being young, right? I feel like when I turned 25, something shifted, right? But I feel like from people be saying that dating experiences don't count in their adolescent years, but like they count, right? And I guess it's because of where I am in life today, and I haven't dated that much. But when I look back at it, how I was showing up as a woman, what value I was bringing to the table, or however we want to phrase it figuratively, it's like you was not deserving of a relationship. You were not a good companion. You were actually terrible. You act like a child. You're immature. You emotionally just dysfunctional. No, seriously. So it's like now I had to go back and apologize to two of my exes, because it's like, bro, like I will feel like God hated me if I experienced, like, from a reverse perspective, like if I had to experience or deal with somebody who I said I loved that was treating me this way. And I wasn't even being mean, but it's just the version of me that I was
reciprocating. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, who do I think I am?
That's the part.
That level of maturity is everything, actually, because there has been times where I've, like, specific situations where I'll be like, all right, damn, that was wrong. Damn, I shouldn't have did that. But to overall think of a situation like, if I was on the opposite side of it, and I had to deal with what I was giving you.
Even in my last relationship,
that's so
I was
funny.
not like I really don't care for like the relationship in totality now that it's over. But even though I felt like he was the main problem or whatever the case may be, and I dealt with a lot, I still had to sit down and self-reflect. Okay, yeah, he was a lot. Yeah, he did this. Yeah, he did. Okay, but
What role did you play?
What role did I play in the situations, but what areas could I have been a better partner, been a better woman, been a better supporter, all of these things. And that took me a long time to arrive at this point.
And that's what we call the art of accountability.
Yeah.
That right there is the whole entire, like my book talk about everything we just talked about, you know, but in large part, that's the premise of it, is forcing people to sit down and identify within self the role that they play, because we are not responsible for what people do. You feel me? We're responsible for what we do.
Yeah.
We're not even responsible for what people hear. We're responsible for what we say.
Yeah.
So with that being our responsibility, you can always identify what you said or did, and it should never even be on you to identify with somebody else. It's not your job to grade their performance. That's the issue that we're running into in modern day society. Everybody's grading their exes. Grade yourself on your last relationship. Don't grade, like, I don't have no desire to grade no exes. I'm grading my performance, and my performance comes down to this. Did I do my best?
Yeah.
And if I didn't do my best, then what could I have done differently, and what would I do differently moving forward? But when I did my best, it's like, okay, sometimes your best is going to be too much for somebody, and sometimes it's not going to be enough for somebody. In either instance, as long as I left it all on the floor, I would never walk away with regrets, because I understand that nobody likes that cringy feeling of having to be like, yo, man, I did some bullshit. That shit feels nutty. Like, you like, damn. And I know it was situations where, even though I feel like it ain't that many where I'm looking back and being like, I flat out did some bullshit. Every situation I had to grow in. But I'm talking about some bullshit where it's like, no, I know I cheated. Like, I know I did some bullshit. I don't have that. I only ever cheated in one of my relationships. And although I was never caught, when I started to self-reflect, that's some bullshit. Like, even if she could live blissfully knowing, like, oh yeah, like I ain't know that nigga cheated. But for me, I knew. So every other situation beyond that, I never did. You follow what I'm saying? And even leading with in my dating experiences, I always date with my long-term goal in mind, because I feel like you have to prep your product before they harvest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, before you see the fruits of your labor, you got to make sure this soil is primed and ready for what I'm about to be planting in it. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not talking about just kids. I'm talking about the information, and then the investment. So I always try to make sure that, and I say this so that men are listening can understand, like, I'm very intentional. When we talk about being hyper aware, sometimes you could be overly intense. I remember when it was hard for me to date, because I literally was like, before I got in my last relationship, I literally was trying to date every woman for that. And I had to learn, I'm like, yo, some of these chicks just want to have fun. Like, you know, even though, like, I wouldn't know what my intentions are going into it. And, you know, you can gauge the situation, like, all right, she nowhere near that season. Like, this ain't that, so it's not going to last. But I had to learn, like, all right, let me scale it back a little bit and allow things to be more organic. Like, let me not be so, I know what the end goal is, but, you know, it's different seasons for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? So it might be a season where you just should be casually dating. It might be a season where, you know, that, and if some people might be like, no, that's never the season. That's not true, because even in casual dating experiences, you can unlock levels of yourself. That's practice.
Yeah.
That's good. If you treat it right, that's good practice. Like, I don't got to do this shit every day. I had to be like, my last situation put me in a space of I had to really become a man. Because the man I thought I was before because it's not just about a relationship. It was having the kids in the crib. This was a different level of responsibility that I hadn't had no experience with before. So now that being away from it, I have that experience. So now I know exactly what my capacity is, because I just dealt with it, right? So it's like, all right, cool. I know what I can handle. It's like, all right. And that's why I never look at situations and be like, oh, that was a failure. It's like, no, I learned what I learned. I invested what I invested. I took what I took. I lost what I lost. And it is what it is. But all of that shit stemmed from, you know, me having to be in that arena. Yeah. So if you're in a casual dating situation, you might be like, all right, let me see how it feel to pay a bill or two. Let me see how it feel as a woman. Let me cook a couple times for him. Let me see how it feel. Like, that ain't wife and husband shit. It's like, you gotta play the game how you want it to end.
I don't know, because I know that personally we've had these conversations previously, right? But, like, you reference, like, it's not a girl or, like, a wife and husband type of thing or boyfriend, girlfriend type of thing. But just as a woman, and from our perspective, I know we had this conversation before, but, like, from a man's perspective, what aspects of yourself do you feel like should be reserved for marriage?
It's a good question. I feel like my life should be reserved for my wife.
What does that mean? Can you elaborate?
I feel like when I say that, it's like I was literally speaking literally like with my life, like literally, but to speak like not literal and just talk about life itself, I feel like certain responsibilities come with. I just feel like marriage, the duties is the same if you ask me. I feel like you should carry yourself like a husband and a wife if you moving towards that. I feel like people have hyper magnified the title, and I'm not talking about the union before God and that level of commitment, right? I'm talking about the responsibilities because we talking about the cooking and the paying for stuff.
The duties, yeah.
I don't feel like that's just for husband and wife. I feel like that is what comes with it, and that don't mean you should be. People get it confused. That people just do it for everybody. Nah, but if we in a relationship moving towards marriage, why wouldn't I already be preparing myself to be a husband? Why wouldn't I be carrying it like that? Like that don't make sense to me.
So do you think there are anything that's specifically reserved for a husband or wife?
I mean, I would have to get married to have that perspective, right? Because I feel like from where I stand today, I look at it like it's just a heightened sense of commitment. It's like once you take them vows, that's a different type. That mean like it ain't even about us no more. Like that mean when we take for better or for worse, in sickness or health, rich or poor, that type of union, that's a different, I'm not getting married to get divorced. There's no walking away. If we tied a knot, we're not untying it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people think that it's just about how happy you are. I feel like that might be for a relationship. I don't feel like a marriage is about how happy you are.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about that. I feel like if you go into it trying to be happy, you'll end up getting divorced to be happy. So I feel like it's one of them situations where in a relationship, you can leave a relationship because you're not happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were just previously in a long-term relationship, right?
Yes.
So what's something that has kept you going in those moments of just like life hitting? Like when those those fleeting emotions leave and y'all are fighting during the day and still gotta sleep together at the end of the night. Like what keeps you going?
I feel like for me personally, it was because I'm a Sagittarius and I feel like we naturally struggle with commitment.
Hold on. Why Destiny?
Wait, she looking. What you saying about Sagittarius?
She got some.
I ain't say nothing about.
We'll come back to that. But I feel like for me, and I talk about this a lot in therapy, just to keep it short, I took the challenge of committing to like see what my bandwidth was in that space because you can't run from every problem. Like, and when you tell yourself it has to be solved, like you gotta take other options off the table. And I know that's like maybe like I'm marriage minded. So maybe that's like a marriage minded thing. Mm-hmm. But for me, this has to be solved and running away from it is not an option. This battle has to be, we have to find some type of reconciliation. Yeah. So that don't mean that it's gonna happen on day one. Mm-hmm. But it's about not carrying that shit with you and like forgiving fast. That's one thing that I always say. Because some shit gonna happen again. Mm-hmm. So you gotta forgive fast. I don't wanna have a tally list of all of this shit. And I'm not saying you can't reference things of the past if a pattern is created. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about in the day-to-day, I'm not carrying that energy. By the time I'm going to sleep and waking up, because we gotta be past this. And as long as it's not something that goes against my 4 agreements. Don't lie to me. Don't think for me. We keep everything in-house. Stay in what you do. Mm-hmm. If it's something that go against my core 4, mm-hmm. then that's like maybe having long-term damage. That might be a little bit more challenging to work through. And that's a lot of context that could be added to that so people can understand what that is. I might write a book on it. I thought about it. But the fact of the matter is, like, you got to be stronger than the book. Like, people got too much fucking pride. I didn't have no pride in my relationship. That's one thing I'm proud of myself. I didn't have no pride.
That's really good.
I didn't have no pride. I didn't give a fuck about who won. I wanted this shit to be done. Yeah. It wasn't like about winning. It was about coming to a common ground and it being like, because I don't know. It wasn't like every situation was going to end pretty. Sometimes you end with different perspectives and that's cool. But how do we move forward? Like, what's next? So, I felt like that was my angle with it. You know what I mean? Just always trying to focus on the bigger picture. Like, this shit, you got to have your end all be all. Yeah. Like, if I didn't catch you cheating, that's the only way I'm walking away, fuck you, da-da-da-da, because I always say, another nigga cannot access you for a cheaper price than it costs me. If I got to pay in my time, I got to pay in my motherfucking emotional investment, I got to pay with my life, I got to pay with my money, and this motherfucker could just fuck, I can forgive you, but I'm not dealing with it. That shit is over. And I understand how the game goes. Some people got it like that, right? I've been in those predicaments where it's not costing me nothing to fuck this girl. She's stressing this nigga out and she coming to me with all of the good energy. You follow what I'm saying? And I don't play those games no more because, again, that's going back to my adolescence. Not even karma. I just don't believe in sleeping with other niggas' girls. That's not my vibe. I don't come at niggas' girls. If I see a woman happy, I don't bother her. I don't want to fuck a nigga wife. I'm not on that. Like, I don't do that shit. That's not. I don't care if niggas do that and they would do it to me. I don't do it. It was times I could just know a motherfucker that's their fault. I don't touch them, even if a chick jumping. But getting our way back to it or whatever the case may be, in a nutshell, is like, yeah, man, I forgot where I was going. I lost it, but it'll come back to me. But all in all, though, I just feel like, you know, as men, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we got to be able to do that. You know what I mean? We got to be able to have that sense of integrity within self to not do certain things.
Yeah.
And that other point will come back to me at another time. It is what it is. But I forgot where I was in the middle of. But I know y'all was asking me about that. But I just know that you can't just walk away from every situation. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Your bottom line. I know it was gonna come back. You gotta have your bottom line. Like, what's the end all be all? Like, mine was if she cheated on me. Now, lying was an end all be all as well. But I found myself learning, like, women, y'all liars, flat out. Like, and y'all wanna, I'm saying y'all liars to your face. It's so your audience can know that I'm telling y'all liars. And it's fine to a degree. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I had to learn to gauge lying a little differently. Are you lying out of fear to protect yourself? Or are you lying to deceive me? A woman will lie about any and everything. If the perception and how you view her is going to change, you're not getting the truth. I can ask y'all 5 questions right now that you're going to lie to me about. So don't tell me y'all don't lie.
Ask the question.
No, because I don't even want to I don't even want to indulge.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, you're going to lie. What are you talking?
Wait,
you're going to.
I'm curious to know what the 5.
But no, what's the question?
No.
I
was going to make them up on the fly.
Okay,
No.
so
I was going to make the question up on the fly.
Ask one question you think somebody gonna lie about.
Do you lie?
Yes.
You're only telling the truth right now because I'm asking you.
I mean, everybody. I lie.
Do you lie?
Not excessively.
I just told Destiny this morning that I got a lying. Was it this morning or yesterday?
But
I
listen,
got a lying problem.
but this is the thing though. Y'all lie about the dumbest shit.
We do. I told
Like,
you.
so that's what I had to learn. Like, y'all try to men. We are not. So for one, let me say this right. Even when we talk about the word manipulation, right? A lot of the times, like, that gets projected on the men. Y'all are way more manipulative than we are. Yeah. We're not even capable of meeting y'all halfway where y'all are manipulative. Well, I'm gonna tell you why though. Because at the end of the day, as a man, I can physically move the world and bend it to my will. Physically, because I'm a man, I have that physical ability to, like, say if I can't get a man to do something, I can punch him in the face, right? I can just beat his ass. Nigga, I told you to don't touch my shit, I'm gonna fuck you up. Y'all don't approach it like that. Y'all have to bend a man with your emotions, with your words. So it's different. So y'all manipulate the world in different ways. Like, whereas though a man most men is not even capable of outsmarting a woman when it comes to mind games. Yeah. So when men get called manipulative, I laugh because I'm not saying like certain men can't be manipulative, but to be manipulative, you have to be able to think for both parties in a way that's deceiving, in a way that, for one, that's your strength. Your strength is your words. Your strength is your mind games. Yeah. My strength is physical. So there's a man out here that don't even think the way that y'all think. So here you are crafting and creating ways to get your way through manipulation, and the man not even catching it in that sense of the word, because at the end of the day, he don't have to think like that. Like, a man you have to manipulate a man to get your way. And I'm gonna tell y'all how y'all do it. Okay, I gotta curse him the fuck out. I gotta cry with him. Or I gotta act like a baby with him. Or I gotta act stern with him. That's all different forms. Yeah, I'm giving that too much.
But it's crazy because even as you're saying this and what you just broke down, like, you gotta know what you gotta do with certain people. It's like, it's so unintentional though.
It's the way y'all play the game.
Like, I don't never think about it like I gotta manipulate this or I gotta manipulate this person. Like, it's just,
kids are the same way.
Happens. And then when I'm called a manipulator, I'm like, that actually was manipulation a little bit, but I didn't plan to do that.
How else are you gonna? It's the way the game is played. I don't take it personal because how else are you gonna get it done? Yeah. My whole thing is to not be able to be manipulated. I play the game black and white. Look, you ain't even gotta play those games with me because I'm here with it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and I feel like that's what women feel like, oh, you too smart. And that's why women, it's funny because, like, I understand, like, because I got the capacity to think that way. If I wanted to be manipulative, right? I could be manipulative. Y'all know why I'm not manipulative? Because you can't manipulate God. True. Like, when I was younger and I used to craft the world to bend to my will and I was getting away with it on the surface, God was getting at me. And I don't fear y'all. I don't fear a man. I do fear God. And because I fear God, that sense of conviction, the way my spirit feels, the way my body feels, if I tell a lie, I don't feel right about it. So I'm not lying because I'm just holier than thou. I'm not lying because thou is holier than me. And he looking down and I'm like, oh, like, I don't want to deal with what come behind that. So, but for y'all want, it's like when you fixate on an end goal, and you crafting a way to get it, the only way to make that happen is to manipulate a situation. You know what I mean? And I can't speak for all men in that regard, because I'm not going to say niggas don't be manipulative. Like, sometimes we play the game where we know, damn, how that box unlock? Oh, you got to say this to her? I don't do that no more, but come on, like, you think when I'm younger, I ain't going to tell a chick what she would, come on, when I'm younger, but at this age, I don't even wonder if I got to do that.
For me personally, I'm really enjoying this conversation because I feel like it's so many, I've caught so many biblical revelations. Like, even when you was talking about, I don't know, maybe it's just the space that I'm in currently today, and I'm sure it has everything to do with it. But even when you was talking about like how manipulation and just that's just like in our nature, and we just do that so effortlessly, I was thinking about the serpent in the garden.
That's why he went after you.
He went after you because he went right for Eve, and I was just like, wow, that he was so intentional because he knew the anatomy of and the mental capacity 100%. Of a woman to know that if I reverse this or word this in a particular way, then it's going to question everything that she was told that she knew at one point to be.
Women don't like restrictions. Once it became a restriction, it became a desire.
Yeah,
and that's just what it is. And it's like, when you understand that, that's why most men attack through women, because women are like, when we say the weaker vessel, that's not like demoralizing or diminishing. It's more so just y'all got a tendency to put yourselves first. And men, we were born with responsibilities. Y'all responsibilities really start when y'all have children. When you don't have a kid, all your responsibilities could be put on a man. Every last one of them. It could be put on a man. Once you have a kid, that's the only thing you can't run away from, because you are attached to this child.
I acknowledge that every day.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I know we chopping it right now, but at the end of the day, like when it comes down to it, like that sense of, I was born with a responsibility. I was taught and birthed that I have to add value to the world. So if God said, Adam, make sure Eve don't touch that fucking apple. You don't touch it. Excuse my language when I'm talking about God. I'm sorry. Make sure that apple don't get ate, whatever the case may be. But they like, hey, Eve, like, you ain't going. You not gonna have the apple because Adam said it. Who Adam? Adam ain't nobody. God ain't tell you that. God told Adam, and Eve probably ain't trust Adam. She probably ain't trust this. This could be a result of what we dealing with today. Adam say, don't do that. I'm telling you, I synced it. I got and Eve like, I'm going to do it anyway. And then guess what happened when Adam still going to get held? Now I'm holding Adam accountable, because then he eat it after that. Like, Adam, I still don't like that. Adam is a simp for that. I don't care what nobody say. That was like crazy to me. And I know people got mad at me last time I said it, but I'm never going to disobey the orders of my father to appease nobody.
But it happens.
But I think that I think when you look at it from that lens,
Adam was human,
and everything that we just like unpacked and dissect, it makes it so much easier when we have these conversations about purpose. When we have these conversations about the roles and responsibilities, from like not even a financial, not even from a taking care of the kids or a contribution or who's gonna make the meals, but when you just look at it, the genetic makeup, our existence. Why is man assigned headship? Why is woman supposed to submit and be a slave to her man? Like, you know,
slave is crazy. I get it.
It's insane.
No, but ultimately, like,
it's not a slave though.
It's past a helpmate. It says that we're supposed to submit to men the same way that we submit unto God.
So are you God's slave?
That's essentially.
I would say God's servant. I wouldn't say a slave.
Okay, servant instead of slave.
Ain't too far.
How? Because we serve y'all too.
It's a desire. I think that's the only thing that makes a difference. Whereas though in slavery is you're held.
That's bondage. Right?
It's bondage. But also you got to think about when you die in the flesh and actually give your life over to Christ, you become a slave, because his will is near your will. There's no desire for you to pick up and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. Left, and I think that's the thin line that people don't really understand. But having this conversation, and even the conversations that we kind of went all over the place to entertain, it kind of just. Hold on one second.
You might have to manually know that book.
Yeah, but basically with the conversations that we were just having previously, it kind of just puts everything into perspective. Like, this is the genetic makeup. This is why God kind of
called ordained.
Call order to the world for it to be this type of way. But we kind of strayed way too far away from what.
Because I feel like women are fighting to be equal, but don't even understand what equality looks like.
Literally, we talked about this.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind. Like, I understand, but it's like equality is not identical.
It's not. It's not tit for tat. It's not being petty. It's not any of these things.
So,
and we had this conversation. So it's like,
I'm
play your role.
It's like,
understand it.
It's simple. If you can understand the hierarchy at work, then understand that it's hierarchy in this household. And the respect and the responsibilities that you have at work and the titles you carry do not carry into this household. And that goes for both. I'm not allowed to be the wolf when I'm at the dinner table. I gotta be Naiym. My kids don't know the wolf. They know dad. You know what I mean? Like, so when you thinking about it like that, it's like a woman, if you come in from having a role of having to oversee, having dominion over a team, and you running this and you running that, and then you come in your house and now you gotta get away from, detach from that to have to take leadership and guidance and direction, even if it's against what you think is the best idea or the best. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of trust that's lacking nowadays, but whatever. But that right there is what's holding people from actually getting the equality they want. Because your goal as women will be different than a man's goal as far as in what's fulfilling. Mm-hmm. So women are trying to step into the man's what fulfills us and then getting overwhelmed and then complaining about it. And it's like, nah, like, just because we don't complain about it don't mean this shit ain't heavy on us. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? So they like I said this shit on my joint, like, motherfucker think we go out to go to work, we going to Disney World. Nah, just because I don't come in and tell you how hard my day at work was, don't mean I didn't don't mean your day in the house was harder than mine because the kid was running around and doing flips and da-da-da-da. It's just like, in one situation where it's like, no, like, we got different hardships, but I'm already equipped to deal with mine because I understand that that's what comes with it. There's no such thing as something for nothing. So I understand that if I'm watching my kid, she might do some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not taken back by it. It's like, you know? Yeah. But getting back to the whole equality thing about it, it's just like, if y'all understand that equality just means, like, you're getting fulfilled, you're giving what you got to give, and the person you're with giving what they got to give, and there's a bigger picture, but it's still hierarchy. I mean, the man is become a better leader as a man, and that's your job. Like, become a better leader. Don't expect somebody to follow you blind. Like, do the work and don't settle for a woman that's not following you. Like, I'm talking about, like, do the work though. Like, because it gets to a point where I'm not, again, that don't mean y'all can't have questions when we say don't question us, but it's just about understanding that this person has your best interest at heart. And if you don't believe he has your best interest at heart, you shouldn't deal with this person.
Yeah.
Like, if you trust your boss to lead the day at work and you don't ask this motherfucker no questions, he give you an assignment, you do it. But you got every question in the world for your husband, and you actually said yes to this man. And of course, I'm talking to that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's like, even if it's your boyfriend, that means you said you trusted this person enough to insert you, to impregnate. Some of y'all had babies by people, you know. But when you draw the line at how he decided to run the household.
Yeah.
Now, you got to have a track record of not being on no bullshit. A lot of niggas, we complain about the chaos in our life that we caused.
Yeah.
Can't be that way. Like, that's why, like, I think women think that I be trying to be perfect because I don't be doing the common fuck up shit. Like, I ain't about to cheat on you. I ain't about to beat on you. I'm not about to do none of that. I can't say that we ain't gonna have a disagreement. I might yell, you might yell. But even in those yelling matches, I'm not about to tear you down. I'm not about to call you be this, be that. I'm not doing that because I understand that I'm sowing seeds that I'm not going to want to sprout.
Yeah.
So if you do some BS, I want it to be because you did it. Not because you could say, oh yeah, because he the reason. I ain't did none of those things that that's on you. You got to show up and take accountability. Now, I can take accountability for what I did wrong, but it ain't going to be the things that's common. Yeah. That women can run to, oh yeah, he was abusive, he was cheating. Nope, not doing none of that. Fuck being perfect, it's about being real.
Yeah. Well, I know we have to wrap this up. So I have one more question. And my question is from a man's perspective, right? And obviously dealing with women who are in the workplace. But do you think that your woman could fully, like 100% submit to you, being as though she has like other people who fulfill that position of hierarchy in her life?
Nope. At one point, I probably would have said, otherwise, I allow my woman to run her own business. Mm-hmm. But my woman can't have no boss. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. No, I work twice as hard to give her a salary to work for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't got to be her boss. But she's not going to have no man controlling her schedule, controlling her income, because he who controls the bank account controls the woman, flat out. And I'm not having nobody control my woman. She can run her own business and run up her own bag, but she's in control of that money. I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be at his expense. He want her to work holidays so he could take off with his family. Absolutely not. No, this is my relationship. Like, I will work extra hours to see to it that she don't have to. Now, granted, some women have careers, but that don't mean the boss. Because I gotta always add this to it. That don't mean the boss have that level of dominion. So we gotta be careful. I'm speaking to if that's the case.
Yeah.
If that's not the case, ladies, and you have a boss and you have a job and it's no dominion and you know how to separate and discern and decipher, this don't apply to you. But we talking about the women who literally will come home and disrespect their man, but go to work and know how to submit and talk soft and take direction and don't have no questions. Yeah. But for the women that understand, like, no, this is my boss, like for real, supervisor. This is my supervisor. Because this motherfucker, that words matter. Not your boss. It's your supervisor. Boss just give too much authority. It's just supervisor, the manager. It's like, that's a different level of a title. It's my manager. But to say that this is my boss, that's like Dan there calling that nigga daddy, if you ask me. Like, real rap. Like, giving that man, that's my boss. Like, none of the women that work for me gotta call me their boss. Like, cause I ain't your boss.
Yeah.
Like, I might be the owner of the company.
I have a question. It kind of comes from...
Nah, fuck that. I might be the boss. No, I'm fucking with you.
It comes from a previous conversation that we just recently had, but I wanted to get your opinion. Do you feel like, would you be fine if being with a woman that don't need you? Or do you feel like you need your woman to need you in some way, shape, or form? I'm not talking about...
What context of need, though?
She needs you.
Why would y'all be together if she don't need you?
No, that's why I said what context. Like, what context? Like, you saying relying solely on me?
No, I'm saying she just needs you in some... Like, she don't need you. I'm sorry. I'm saying if she don't... Would you be with a woman that don't need you?
I don't think nobody would be with nobody that don't need them. Everybody has a desire to be needed. Like, need don't necessarily mean dependent. Like, I'm dependent all the way on you. Like, I don't need a woman to depend all the way on me. Like, be yourself. Like, by all means, go with your girlfriends. Get away from me. Like, have fun. Like, but at the end of the day, if she don't need me, that means I don't add no value to her. Like, you work at a job because they need you.
Yeah.
You fulfill a desire of your clients because they need you. Like, it's a problem that need to be solved, and you the person with the solution. Without that, it's no relationship. It's like y'all just together. Y'all two entities that might coexist, but it's not gonna be no real union if it's not no feel to feel like need and want can be interchanged essentially, because you could find somebody else to do the same thing, but you want it from this person.
Yeah.
But everybody needs something and somebody.
Yeah.
Like I need whenever I need a partner. I don't got this shit all figured out by myself. Like I need, like fuck all that. Like I don't care how that shit sound. Like I need, but I'm not dependent, because I still know how to cook. I still know how to wash my own clothes. I still do all of the stuff. I still know how to show up and be whole by myself. But I'd be a damn liar if I act like I don't need I need a woman to do a lot of shit. Women is organized, women smart, women is good company, women got egos, but they ain't bad as being around all men all day. So it's as long as your partner not in competition with you, if your woman not in competition with you, because that's when it get ugly. Women try to make it men be in competition, but I ain't never heard a nigga just wake up and be in competition with it. I ain't saying niggas don't defend themselves in the competition, because it typically starts from the offense, and then the nigga get defensive, and now it becomes a match. But the nigga just woke up one day and said, girl, I'm better than you. Now tell me what type of men y'all dealing with. Come on.
I mean, ain't nobody ever did that to me, but I'm sure it happens more times than not.
I ain't saying that it don't happen. I'm saying that I don't think a man initiated it. I ain't telling y'all what the war became. I'm saying that based on growing up around men and being a man, I've never been a part of a discussion where it was centered around what women were good or bad at. It's always women inserting themselves into the conversation, because most of the time, if I'm being real, with all due respect, niggas don't even compare themselves to women. Niggas don't give a fuck. If you got some shit going on over there, men be more in competition with each other than they ever will with a woman. It becomes that when a man finds himself on defense defending his manhood to a woman. Now he's trying to explain to her where he at and why he's better. But if a woman never say shit about it, I can guarantee you that a man ain't just wake up one day because I'm better than her.
Yeah.
I don't see it. And if it happened to you ladies, I apologize on his behalf. But I don't know. But I can't say that I've ever been around men that ever have operated like that. And I want to specify in that manner, because some niggas be different. I don't know what y'all experience.
Right.
I think this was really good.
This was definitely a great episode for sure.
I appreciate it, and I enjoyed it.
This was definitely a great episode, and I enjoyed having you.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Hopefully I got to add to the discussion, though, the wonderful discussion that y'all be having already. Hopefully this elevated it.
Showed a lot of perspective.
For sure.
So, well, hopefully, ladies that y'all watching, y'all get to take something from it. Hopefully, fellas y'all watching, y'all get to take something from it. We got 2 ladies that's on their personal development journeys. They doing self-work, they self-assessing, even to be able to be transparent on your platform and expose things in the way y'all think to the world, for them to be able to dissect and pick. I commend y'all for that. that because I know y'all off camera and I know that y'all both are literally actively trying to become who y'all are aspiring to be. It's not like y'all just like on some like, you know, He-Man haters club or, you know, like, you know, I'm a man, y'all women, so we're going to have differentiating perspectives from our experiences. But I feel like for the most part, I can rock behind, you know, the work y'all putting in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So before we go, y'all know that we are always just ending our episodes with a word of advice, and typically it's for a sister. So today we're going to start off with our guest and
make it more broad.
Yeah, the question is going to be, what's a word of advice or encouragement that you have for a brother?
I'm giving it to the sisters. Y'all, I want y'all, I know forgiveness is challenging, but I want y'all to develop trust. If you don't want to trust a man, then trust yourself. If you're not ready to trust yourself, trust God at the bare minimum.
Yeah, that's good.
And understand that some things that you go through are just preparation, but they're not for you to carry with you into every situation as this, you know, rubric to go off of and these policies and procedures to avoid. Nah, like allow your experiences of the past to shape you. And I say this because I don't think anything is stopping the relationship from pushing forward from the female side, being a man, but other than the trust. I feel like trust shows us a certain level of respect to a man. When you trust us, it makes us feel appreciated in ways that go unsaid because we know that if you trust me, that means that you won't question me. And when you don't question me, it allows me to operate fully in my creativity as to how I can provide solutions for you to make your life better. So I want y'all to develop more trust. As men, I want y'all to develop more discipline, become more intentional, and learn who you are as a man so that when you are pursuing a woman, you can understand what your intentions are. Even if they are not to marry this woman, at least you go into it knowing so that you don't have to manipulate and play the game in a way to get what you want. You can still get it by being transparent, and you will attract a woman that can help you build your tribe. So, you know, the discipline aspect is start asking yourself, is it worth it? Is she worth it? Because a lot of y'all invest so much time and energy into people knowing that it's not even worth it. Like, you got to ask yourself, if she get pregnant, am I willing to deal with her? If this turns out bad and I get some type of STD, can I live with that? And I say that to put that in perspective that if she become a crazy, because you could turn her into a problem all because you try and get your nut off. You don't want to do that. Like, have a discipline within you to be able to turn some shit down that don't fit where you at or that you can't live with. Because then you bound, I don't know why she acting like that. Yes, you do know why she acting like that. You do know. So don't kick that BS. If you know you're not going to be able to tolerate who she become after you come, then I don't think you should come in to begin with. I'll leave it there.
Well, that was good. I just came up with advice and forgot it.
Well, I'm damn. Like, y'all making me feel bad.
Okay, so
that was really good though.
That was good.
Thank you.
It was a lot of wisdom, and my word of advice for a sister today would be to really take time to reflect, right? And not from a place of, this is where I used to be. I wish I was here. You know, just all of those. I don't know. I feel like sometimes self-reflection has gotten super weird, right? In the sense of, okay. My word of advice today for a sister would be, I'm sorry, this stuff don't work for me. I know. I have ADHD, so a lot of things just be like, okay, so my word of advice for a sister today would be to sincerely take a moment to reflect, right? And I feel like a lot of times when self-reflection comes about, especially in conversations that I've been having recently, it's not always the lightest moments. It's not always the most pleasant or pleasing moments in a sense, but really take the time to self-reflect and just think about like how you could have shown up better in whatever capacity you had in that time. Whether it was a friendship or whether it was your last place of employment, your last relationship, I challenge you, if you're watching this, listening to this, self-reflect only on your part and just ask yourself some real questions. Like, what could I have done better or differently? Moving forward, what does this look like for me? What am I looking to gain or what am I looking to add in my next go round? So that's my word of advice. What's yours?
I'm going to piggyback off of that and say definitely self-reflect, but also try not to be so prideful. And I'm saying that because I quote a lot from this conversation. And one of the main things that I realized is like I could be so prideful. Like even in moments when I know I'm dead ass wrong, I'm not wrong because I can't be wrong. Like it's my pride. So try not to be so prideful. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you have to have pride, you shouldn't be in that situation because it's unsafe. So yeah, just try not to be. Yeah, try not to be so prideful.
Yeah, I love that. Is it okay if I
Absolutely.
Sure.
plug my books? Make sure y'all go grab Cheating Is Not Cheating. Don't judge a book by its title. Matter of fact, I don't care if you do it. Just show where you at. But don't let 4 words stop you from getting 200 pages of valuable information. And make sure y'all go check out The Art of Accountability. They're both available on thewolfhasspoken.com. Our conversation was real good, but I thought I was gonna have a moment to like jump out, grab the books, and like let y'all open to like a random page and kind of dissect. But I mean, y'all about to, maybe y'all can do it in a future episode, and I'll just leave so y'all can look and be like, let's see, Yeah. So anybody out here, I'm telling you, these are personal development books, they self-help books. They both self-reflection books. Even Cheating Not Cheating, it will give you perspective. It's not what you think. You know what I mean? And I don't never defend the title of my book because I like people to speculate. I don't care. But I'm just letting you know, because we're talking to your audience in particular, don't let this title trigger you. This will change your life. You know what I mean? And this one will literally take you to that next level. I feel like this right here will put things in a perspective, but this right here will make you who you need to become. And talk about boundaries. I wish we would have got into that, but boundaries is in here. Boundaries is in here. So if you want to learn how to set boundaries, grab The Art of Accountability. It's a tool.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us again. It has been an honor and a pleasure.
Always.
And that's it from us, y'all. We'll see you next week.
We have to add, can you also go shop on dearsisterletstalk.com and you can still use our discount code DSPOD.
Yeah, go get your conversational card games, y'all, because last episode we told y'all that we had some stuff dropping for y'all, and it's coming, and I know that y'all gonna love it. So, and we actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to drop this, but y'all, we changing up the original deck a little bit. Y'all are going to love it. So if y'all love the first deck, I know y'all gonna love the revised version of the conversational card game. But yeah, like Destiny said, head over to www.dearsisterletstalk.com. Don't forget to use promo code DSPOD for your exclusive discount. And hold on, before y'all go, if you're listening to this on any of your favorite Audible platforms, don't forget to bookmark this, save this, and leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe before you go.
And also, don't forget to download on all of your Audible podcast platforms. Download our episodes so you will be updated every time a new episode release.
That's it, y'all.
Make sure y'all follow them. It's Celine Sa. And y'all don't give y'all Instagrams?
It's already all in it's the intro part. But before you go, plug your Instagram.
I mean, y'all can follow me at WolfWSC, but I always plug it because you never know at what part they might catch their attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, follow me at WolfWSC and check out my podcast, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. Y'all see them on there eventually once they come back to the city, and we're going to build.
All right. Bye.
Toodles. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast, Let's Talk Sis, with Des and Sa.
Stay connected by following us on all of your favorite social media platforms. And don't forget, use hashtag DearSisterLet'sTalk to find us.
Wait, before you go, head over to our website or our Instagram and join our interactive community for a daily dose of sisterhood, where like-minded women fellowship, encourage, and create a safe space amongst one another.
See you inside, sis.
Toodles.
Bye.